Hello there once again, and welcome to The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers. We're here on The Verdict. Glad you're with us, because every week we're here talking to interesting people and dealing with topical issues. And we welcome in Robert Henry, the new incoming president of Oklahoma City University.
Yes, President Henry has occupied a bunch of prestigious positions prior to rejoining Oklahoma City University. And he's going to come tell us how those experiences in his past have equipped him to become a university president. He's going to tell us what's going on at OCU and a lot of other interesting things.
OCU is certainly ascending on the academic scale. We'll talk to President Henry when we get back on The Verdict.
The idea of sending American money out of our own economy these days for foreign oil is madness. Yet we're spending $25 billion a month on foreign oil. America's 100-year supply of natural gas can break this pattern and strengthen our economy. See how it can create jobs, generate clean electricity, fuel our cars, and protect our environment at chk.com. Chesapeake, America's champion of natural gas.
Wilsey, Meyer, Eatman, Tate. We're accountants. We do taxes, business valuations, estate planning, and consulting. And we're right here in Oklahoma, working with the owners of small and medium-sized businesses. Steve Wilsey and Stuart Meyer have the resources and the experience. Wilsey, Meyer, Eatman, Tate in Oklahoma City and Tulsa.
There's no waiting at the St. Anthony ER.
No waiting.
Announcing the end of ER waiting at St. Anthony Hospital. Go to saintsok.com and reserve your time online.
Why didn't we think of that?
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers, and Kent's going to introduce today's guest.
Today we're really pleased to welcome to the set of The Verdict for the first time Robert Henry. Robert is the new president of Oklahoma City University as of 2010. He did his undergraduate work and his law work at the University of Oklahoma. He has a varied, distinguished background. He served in the House of Representatives. He was dean of the Oklahoma City University Law School. And most recently, he was chief judge of the 10th Circuit, headquartered in Denver, but we've gotten him back to Oklahoma City as he has taken over as president of Oklahoma City University. He's also on the board of directors of Devon Energy, and he has been inducted into the Oklahoma Hall of Fame. This is his first, but we hope not his last visit to The Verdict. Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Counselor.
I was just kind of going over the life experiences of Robert Henry, law school dean, state legislator, lawyer in private practice, and a federal judge, and now president of the university. How has all of that prepared you for this new role?
Well, I'll say there's one major difference in being a judge and being a university president. As a judge, nobody ever chews you out. As a university president, you're open season. But I do think everything that I have done has a role. One of the things I guess you learn in public life is you learn to try to hire people to do a good job, try to get them the assets to do that job, and then having hired good people and gotten them the tools, get out of the way.
Yeah.
And as Attorney General, that's what I did. As a legislator, that's what I did. A judge, a little bit different, but a lot of it is hiring good people, finding the resources, and then letting them ply their trade.
Well, it's been a number of years since you were at Oklahoma City University as Dean of the Law School. Now that you've been back for 6 months or so, how do you find the law school? Has it changed a lot?
Well, the one thing that hasn't changed is we still have the same problem, parking.
Yeah.
Is there a university that doesn't have a parking problem? Thankfully, we've worked with the city mayor. You've been helpful. We've got a new parking lot being created, but the parking situation hasn't changed. What has changed is the university is bigger, it's more diverse, there is more going on, there are events all the time, things to do. There are some federal laws that are a little too complicated that we have to work with. Some of those things have changed.
How has the student body changed, the makeup of the student body? Are students coming from different backgrounds or different cultures?
Yes, they are. We have and Devin has helped with this, our Clara Looper Scholars. We actively recruit minority students with different occupation, different backgrounds. We have a large number of Native American students. Methodists have always been interested. There's a Methodist Indian Conference, and Methodists have always been interested in things Indian, and we treasure our relationship with the tribes. Also, as you know, OCU was one of the early institutions that got into international work. And we have a lot of international students. This is very good for America. These are students who go back to their countries. We do business with them. They do business with us. And it really adds to the milieu of Oklahoma City. So we have a very unique global campus, 49 countries, all the states in the United States represented there.
Well, the 9/11 bombing, I guess, had a negative impact on your international program insofar as number of students you could attract and be able to bring in. Is that kind of reversing itself and getting better now?
Yes, it has. We actually had a slight dip this year simply because of the economy.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing that these international students do is bring money into Oklahoma, and quite a bit of it. So we lost some international students this year due to that economic slowdown, which seems to be reversed and certainly isn't as bad here in Oklahoma City, as you know, Mayor, as it is in other places. It's great to be in Oklahoma City at this point.
We see a lot of the challenges of higher ed and trying to fund it. I mean, it's just very expensive to run a university, and of course, most of those costs have to be transferred back to the student body. How do you deal with that? How do you make sure you have an affordable product, but at the same time deliver a quality product?
Well, it is difficult, and if you look at things that have gone up higher than the rate of inflation, the two things that immediately jump out are education and health care. I mean, those costs always increase at a rate higher than the inflationary rate. And at a liberal arts school like OCU, we have an additional problem. Being a liberal arts school, we're dedicated to small classes. So our average teacher-pupil ratio, student-teacher ratio is 14 to 1. So that's pretty good. We think that interaction of those small classes, no graduate assistants, that's what makes us special. And so that's expensive. You know, you don't get to have classes with 100 people in it, you know, counting as just one class for the teacher. So teachers teach more smaller classes, but there's only so many classes a teacher can teach. So it is difficult. 95% of our students get scholarships, and so we always tell people when you see our tuition, talk to us first because we have scholarships. But it's hard. I noticed the state regents are thinking that there may be some tuition increases in the public sector this time. Education is just expensive, but every study shows that it's worth it.
That's an investment
It's
in
an
a person's
investment.
life. Yeah.
Exactly.
I know recently from prior visits by Tom McDaniel to our show that OCU has established, or perhaps reestablished, I'm not quite sure how to phrase it, its seminary. And I think the student body is increasing each year. This was not present, I guess, when you were there before as Dean of the Law School. How do you find the seminary progressing?
Well, we have a joint venture with St. Paul's in Kansas City, and it's really outstanding. Theology has always been something very interesting to me, and of course we've had a strong religion department for a number of years. We've always had a strong relationship with the Jewish community in Oklahoma, so we've had good interaction and good exchange there. Well, a lot of our students were leaving the state, and there are a lot of Methodists in Oklahoma. We need some Methodist ministers. So Tom worked together with St. Paul's. Elaine Robinson leads the effort here at OCU, and they really do some remarkable teaching, and it's good for us. We get these scholars and students who are themselves scholars on campus, and it sort of mixes in the milieu. There's an interesting discussion going on almost 24 hours a day at Oklahoma City University.
I bet that's right.
We had talked a few years ago about perhaps having Oklahoma City University investigate whether or not it wanted to change its athletic level of play, maybe even going to Division I. It's been resolved at this point, I think, to kind of stay where Oklahoma City University is. Do you imagine you'll look into that again at some point in the future, or you have other things on your plate that need to take precedent?
Well, there are actually ideas of going both ways. I mean, there are some very fine academic schools have gone to the no scholarship levels. Trinity, I think Grinnell does that.
Basically Division III.
Yep, Division III.
Yeah.
There are some people that want to do that. We're doing pretty well right now.
You're winning lots of championships.
We're winning
Indeed.
18 consecutive national championships, 39 overall, and so the status quo is looking kind of good at this particular moment. I was always told if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it doesn't appear to be broke. In fact, our rowers just had a phenomenal meet, winning it just a couple of days ago, and it wasn't here. Too bad it wasn't here because we have such a fabulous boathouse, but which you and I helped to dedicate. So I think we'll probably stay where we are right now.
Our guest is Oklahoma City University President Robert Henry. We'll be right back with one more segment on the verdict.
My name is Wyatt Parker. I am 20 years old. I am a composer, and I am a Chickasaw. The way I prefer to express myself is through music. I like all the obvious guys, you know, Mozart, Beethoven. The way that I like to come up with music is really not to come up with it at all. I just like for it to kind of appear in my head. It's about listening. You have to be a good listener in music as in life. I would say the Chickasaw Nation stands for its people. I would want to be known as a Chickasaw composer who is trying to do great things with music. With all the opportunities that the Chickasaw Nation is offering its people, it's a great time to be a Chickasaw.
The oil and natural gas industry help provide a revenue that feeds our schools, providing a better education for not only my kids, but for children all over the state.
It will allow the schools to buy better equipment. We'll be able to hire qualified teachers, all around to have a better educational experience.
The future has never been brighter for our students here.
We should be very proud of the oil and gas industry in Oklahoma.
Welcome back to The Verdict. Glad you're with us. Our guest is Oklahoma City University President Robert Henry. President, what are the major challenges that you face coming in here in 2010 and trying to lead this university?
Well, I just have to say one major challenge I face is trying to figure out which event to go to. There are so many wonderful events that happen at OCU, including a couple I want to mention. Our Christmas Vespers, December 10, 11, is the most moving musical moment you could possibly have. And then our Home for the Holidays, our fabulous dance school. We have about 50 people who work with the Rockettes from Oklahoma City University. We have fabulous dance and music, and those holiday performances, December 9 through 12 on the dance and 10 through 11 for the Vespers, people can go to okcu.edu. There's a little box office icon, and you press that, and it tells you things. But that really is a challenge. How do you figure out which thing to go to? There's always a theater event, always a recital, always an athletic event. Our basketball team is fantastic, our soccer team. We have women's wrestling, as you know, so there's plenty of things to go to. I guess the other challenges are sort of like your last question, trying to keep education as affordable as possible. Try to keep our tuition as low as we can, keeping our quality up. It's difficult in these times.
Well, you know, a generation ago, it kind of became assumed that the new prime responsibility of a university president was to raise money. I mean, that's what we heard. It was a common theme. Who can he raise money? Can he raise money? Have we moved beyond that? Are there other qualities now that people are looking for a university president, or is that still something that you just can't help yourself? You've got to be thinking about because of all those other demands.
Well, I think it has devolved into sort of a fundraiser in chief. You know, that's something all presidents have to do. But I think there is a hope that the president reflects the academic vision of the university. The president is himself a teacher and capable of teaching. I think it's better when that happens. I'm not teaching this semester. I will. I teach classes that I'm invited to. But I think it's important for the president to be a teacher too, and so I will eventually do that. But if you have any spare funds, Mayor, I'd be happy to place them in a good place.
Way to end it with my question. That's great.
Are there new facilities or academic programs that maybe just are on the drawing board but haven't come to fruition yet that you'd like to tell us about?
Well, our new interim dean of our business school, Steve Agee, is a prominent oil man and an economist. He's got some remarkable new programs that he's working on. We're doing some different things in the energy area. Of course, our new facility, the $10 million Devon Boathouse, is just absolutely amazing. It's just breathtaking and a remarkable part of Oklahoma City and what Oklahoma City is becoming. That has been a very, very exciting project.
Yeah, we've had Mike Knopp on at least once, maybe twice, talking about the rowing program, and we had him on talking about the rowing program before there was a rowing program, and now look what's happened to the river, what's happened to other boathouses, and it's just astounding, the development of that in the last 5 years.
What are the trends involving student housing? Are more students wanting to be involved in student housing, or fewer?
Our student housing is really good. We built a new Methodist Centennial Dormitory that is fabulous. Our food service, you know, that's sort of the perennial complaint at college. Well, Sodexo, you may have seen the newspaper, they recently put in the first 105-degree raw bar in the country. The first college that has, you know, there are a lot of people that like enzymes, and enzymes get killed at about 105 degrees. And so we have a very progressive food service. There's just always something good. We also this year had 2 of our most popular professors move into the dorms as sort of dorm dads, and that's been remarkable. And you know, I thought maybe students wouldn't want to get to know the old fuddy-duddy who's the president, but actually students like to get to know their teachers and their president. They like to chat and talk, and so that's been an exciting program.
Do you live on campus?
I do live on campus. I live in Wilson House, this wonderful house designed by George Seminoff, and it's right in the big middle of things. So I don't drive as much as I used to.
And you get out and meander around the campus, I suspect?
I do a little bit of management by meandering about. So.
Well, you learn as much as you give, I suspect, in that.
You do.
Meanderings.
You do, and I have a community garden that I established, and I meet some of the students there, and we make about 60 pizzas, 60 huge pizzas a day, and so we have some fresh basil on them and things like that. So, and we throw the Frisbee. I brought both of you a Frisbee and a
Well,
basketball,
thank you.
so
Thank
that
you.
will
My gosh,
give you
this is a
something
first.
To a little exercise.
We don't
you know.
usually receive gifts like this.
No, we don't. It should be the
wonderful.
new standard, I think.
This is
All guests should bring gifts. That should be.
Yeah.
we'll put that down as a new requirement.
You can be on the verdict if you bring us something. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
Appreciate it, Mr. President. Now, when you start looking at the city and the university, of course, we share the same name. I mean, Oklahoma City University. There's some co-branding efforts that are obviously irremovable, obviously connected. What can the citizens of Oklahoma City, and for that matter, the state of Oklahoma, do to help the university? What would you like to see from the general public beyond the students and the parents who are directly involved?
I'd like to see them come on campus and come to more events. Recently, the civic music concerts decided that they had to reorganize, and we were asked to take over part of those, and we did. And we've created a distinguished artist series. And I tell my friends at Devon and Chesapeake, others that we see and help us a lot, if you have people coming to town and they want something to do, give me a call. I mean, on any given day, I can give you a buffet of stuff from athletic events to La Traviata to Kristen Chenoweth doing a master's class, which she did for us last week, to things that people can come see. I would like to welcome people on campus more. I think we are Oklahoma City's university, and we try to make programs available that will enrich the city. In Scott Mama Day last week, David Brooks coming in April. If I survive to April, there's going to be a big inauguration, and we're going to have some remarkable speakers and discussion groups on campus that will be publicized. And I hope people will come and see their university and see the events that we have.
Talk about a little bit faculty recruitment. I know you have turnover from time to time in all of your colleges, I suspect, but is that something nowadays that's pretty easy to do, to draw people to Oklahoma City University? For instance, is the state of the city of Oklahoma City a drawing card for your faculty to come here?
It is now.
He told me to ask that question.
Thanks to a couple of really sharp mayors.
Yeah,
right. This one included. I mean, it used to be, when I first became a judge 16 years ago, you get law clerks from everywhere. They're a little worried to come to Oklahoma City, and then when they get to Oklahoma City, they love it, Now people have heard enough that you don't have to get them here first. I see people out and about, and they say, "What are you guys doing? I mean, what caused all this to happen?" And I say, "Well, we have to have a cup of coffee. It didn't just happen overnight.
Yeah.
It was a lot of things." And so Oklahoma City is a real drawing card. It is a fun place to be.
And fortunately, that's the final word. Thanks very much for the promotion there at the end of the show, President Henry. Oklahoma City University, under the respectful leadership of Robert Henry. Kent and I'll be back with a final word right after this. You're watching The Verdict.
good life comes naturally to Tulsa, where nature's beauty is matched with an eye for aesthetics. A legacy of neighborhoods graced with lawns and landscaping and handsome homes. A place that seems to have patented an ideal lifestyle. Bank First is loyal to the quality of life Tulsa assures its citizens, to the priority placed on education, culture, and growth. Loyal to builders who transform raw land into residential charm. Developers who see opportunity and add vitality to Tulsa's economy. Bank First serves both enterprise and private lives that need a loyal partner. It's how we help nurture this city's very good life. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
Over time, owning your home has proved to be a good decision. And while lately the economy has presented challenges, it's also helped us focus on what matters most: family, friendship, community, and finding a home that's right for you. No one has more experience and expertise to help you than an agent who is a realtor. We're prepared to show you options, answer your questions, and guide you home. Every market's different. Call a realtor today.
The Journal-Record is pleased to be a sponsor of The Verdict. The Journal-Record, since 1903, the best source of Oklahoma business news and legal information. And for almost 30 years, Oklahoma political, government, and business leaders have turned to the McCarville Report for accurate, reliable, inside information. Visit the McCarville Report online.
And welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett and Kent Myers. We're wrapping up the show with President Robert Henry of Oklahoma City University.
A scholar, he's going into a scholarly institution, and he's just going to do a fine job. They've had a string of wonderful presidents, and he is as good as any.
We have a couple of websites we'd like to draw your attention to. First is how you can get a hold of Oklahoma City University or President Henry. That web address is okcu.edu. That's okcu.edu. We'd also like to draw your attention to our website, theverdict.tv. Go there and tell us about a show that you'd like to see. We'll see you next week on The Verdict.
The preceding program was produced exclusively for the Cox Channel.
Today in the rodeo arenas, when they have the bronc riding, and we always sell this event as the old cornerstone event in the world of rodeo, saddle bronc riding, you know, because that's how it all began. But you'll have two pickup men out there, and their job is, when the ride's over, to come in and help the cowboy out. Well, in the olden days, whenever all they do is find a flat place, kind of like this out here, off out the pasture somewhere, someplace that wasn't too rocky, not too many trees, but they'd put this old cowboy on this horse, and he'd ride the horse, till the horse quit bucking and the cowboy bucked off, whichever came first. And in those days, they might have 3 or 4 guys out there. They called them outriders in those days, and their job was to keep the horses out of away from the trees, out of the rocks, you know, and if he jumped in the creek, well, they might even have to rope the cowboy and drag him out. A lot of different things, but we've kind of evolved. We're a little more civilized here today, but you're going to enjoy bronc riding. We've got 3 good guys here. I don't know who's first, but we'll tell you who they are, and we'll